أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على أرسل المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري يسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our beloved Imam Hamad Cebli already joined the call. I'm seeing that all of you almost there. Some of maybe will be joining later on, but at this moment of time, I would like to request my beloved Imam Hamad Cebli to start his khutbah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على هديه إلى يوم الدين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, allow me to greet all of you with the Islamic greeting and the meaning of this greeting to our viewer locally, nationally, internationally, to say peace and the blessing of Allah be upon you all. And when we initiate this greeting in Arabic, Muslim to Muslim, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Walhamdulillah, praise be to Allah. We are practicing almost every day, especially in Salat al-Fajr, when we raise our hand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we call it dua al-qunut. Some Muslims do it, some Muslims they don't do it. In Salat al-Fajr or in Salat al-Witr, a part of the dua to say, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. That is the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He used to say before Rajab, through Rajab, before Sha'ban, during Sha'ban, before Ramadan, during Ramadan, to say, oh Allah, put more blessing in us, in our family, in our talk, in our sustenance, in our health, in our study, in our knowledge. Oh Allah, put some barakah on us in the month of Rajab and Sha'ban. Rajab and Sha'ban, which means 60 days or maybe 58, 59 days. But the second part of the dua, to say, oh Allah, according to your knowledge, extend our life to reach Ramadan. Because when you reach Ramadan and you fast Ramadan, according to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man sama Ramadana imanan wahtisaban غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه أو كما قال. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, the one who fasts the month of Ramadan with two conditions. Condition number one, he believed in Allah, imanan. He is a mu'min. And the mu'min have to do all his dues as a mu'min, imanan. And the second condition is wahtisaban. which means he is not fasting for any other purpose except to please Allah, because Ramadan is obligatory. Under those two conditions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all the previous sin from Ramadan to Ramadan. And this opportunity, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give it to us every year for the month of Ramadan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us more other opportunity to get rid of our sin, our mistake, our guna, our bad talking, our bad behavior. To get rid of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us 5 chances every day. What, Imam, what are those 5 chances every day to get rid of my mistake, regardless is my mistake great or minimum or maximum mistake? When you make a wudu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive our sin between every wudu. When you do your 5 times a prayer, between every 2 prayer, if we commit something not intentionally, I said not intentionally, include if a person do it intentionally and he believes there is Allah, there is a creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Ghaffar, the one who forgives, not only once, not only twice, not only 100 times, as long as the person believes there is Allah and he is Al-Ghaffar and he is the one forgiving, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive the person before the soul will reach the level of the person who's going to die. We call it, Adam apple. And the other opportunity Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give it to us is between every Fridays. From one Friday to the other Friday. Today is Sunday, yesterday was Saturday, before that there one Friday, which means we have 2 days, God forbid, unintentionally, we commit some sin. But next Friday is waiting for us. When the person offers the Salatul Jumu'ah and asks Allah to forgive, Allah will forgive according to the hadith of Rasulullah between every Friday. Then it will come Ramadan between every 2 Ramadan. The reason I make this kind of introduction to come to my point today, my point today is as a question to everybody in the Zoom, brother or sister, include youth. Do you have any situation in your life? I'm not going to discuss age. Especially don't come near to the sister to ask them, how old are you? Leave it alone. Include the brother, sometimes they get upset. Oh, brother, how old are you? Which year were born? Can I have your date of birth? Why you ask me this question? I'm not going to release it to you. This I am in front of you. During your life, is there any situation you pass by, or maybe you get involved in it to say, I want to prefer a human being, relative or not relative, above me or before me, and let them get the benefit? Maybe they deserve it better than me. Which means, in other way, you put yourself number 2. You don't put yourself number 1 to say mine. Oh, I'm not going to do it. Why you don't let somebody do it? It's not my business. This is what Allah give it to me. I'm not going to give it to someone. No, I like to put the question the 3rd time to say, do you have any situation you face it, and I would say in a public, not privately, in a public, and you said, oh, I will put myself number 2, and I'm not going to put myself number 1, only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe to give you a couple examples about the person, if I know the name of the person I'll mention, and I have a hadith of Rasulullah sallam, I like to refer to very authentic hadith. I give you the reference, inshallah ta'ala. If you work as the leader of the ship in the middle of the ocean, if you are work in the ship and you are the leader of the ship in the middle of the ocean, and tsunami came or big storm came, and the people start rescue the people from the ship by helicopter, and you are in charge, did you be the first one to fly and run away from the ship and leave everybody, or you supposed to be the last one? Ask yourself this question. How about if you work as a firefighter, and maybe you are working as a volunteer, and you go to the fire? Are you the one run to the fire to protect the people inside? Or you can say, oh, let them die, is not my business. Other question, other thing I can say, when you like to rescue the life of the people, you know what happened in Turkey, the earthquake from last Monday, Sunday evening or Sunday morning, late evening and Sunday morning, up till today, we will have people still under the ground, and those people by their hand, some of them, they don't have gloves, moving the rubbles just to rescue the life of the others, which means they put the other number one, then they put themselves number two. But let me, inshallah ta'ala, give the floor to every one of us, and they can start with the permission of brother brother Al-Mamun and brother Muslih, the one who controls the name. If you have any occasion, again, you are able to put yourself number two to save the others, please, please, please mention to us, then give me another only maybe 5 minutes. In the end, I have a hadith was narrated by the two Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim. In the beginning of the hadith, أخرجه الشيخان, which means the two person, Sheikh Bukhari and Sheikh Muslim, the one who collected the authentic hadith of Rasulullah, they agree about this hadith, and this hadith was reported by Abu Huraira, the well-known Sahabi who collect the majority of the hadith of Rasulullah. How sometime the Sahaba, male and female, come together to say, I will put myself second, and I want to rescue the life of the other as number one, inshallah ta'ala. And I will say to entire Jama'ah, brother, sister, youth, the floor is yours. Share with us your story to learn from you. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه يغفر لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, so such a nice khutbah as Imam has requested. Maybe I can start with our young generation first, if they want to share anything, and then inshallah we'll come back to the sisters and then brothers. Anyone from young generation? I don't see today Cheyenne on the call. Maybe they're busy. Inshallah, I will come back to sisters. Any sisters that would like to share anything? You can unmute yourself. All right. I don't think sisters want to share anything. Maybe I will come back to brothers. Any brothers, do you want to share anything? Muslim bhai, you are talking in mute. You are still in mute. Let me ask you to unmute. Let's see if it pop up on your window.
Okay, I think I unmuted. I have multiple screens, so I was confused.
No,
So I want to say that, what Imam Cebli said in the sermon today, mashallah, it was very good. And there is hadith reference to it also. But just think of it, and I didn't think of it this way before. If all of us can adopt this attitude that I'm not top, I'm for somebody else, somebody else's interest is over mine, and I have to do something to fulfill his interest. This will significantly change everybody's life in the world. I mean, this is not just, because it's there in hadith, it's also common sense and also very, I would say, humanistic attitude. So I'm glad that our Imam Cebli has brought this hadith to us, and it's very inspiring. Thank you, Imam.
MashaAllah.
Do you have any situation, brother Muslah, you face it by yourself and nothing wrong to say, one day I did do this and this and this, just as an example to teach us, to learn from you? You have any situation or not? Not.
Well, I remember one situation that I took a stand when I was a very young lecturer at Dhaka University. And I was in the committee for deciding who is admission committee, who is going to be coming to university and which will not, because we go through the exam and other things. So, but then we have decided all those things. Then later I heard that Vice Chancellor is sending his own candidates. They did not go through the exam that we set up. So at that time, I took a stand against that. And so I risking my career, I was threatened by the chairman that, if you pursue this, then think of your future. You're not going to go abroad. You're not going to do your PhD. So I took a risk, and for the fairness. And anyway, eventually I won. And they said that, okay, you come up with a plan so that these students, we can take a test, give a test, and etc. etc. So that's the position I took. I think at that time, because it was risky for me to do that, but I was young and and I asked myself at that time that if I don't do it, then I'll hate myself all my life. What kind of person I am? So that's one thing I can think, that I put others' interest or the interest of the community or students or a fairness of a situation above my own interests. That's the example that I can think of. So hope I'm not bragging about myself. Thank you.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. I think everybody's life, we have something. Although you start talking, I'm pretty sure that other brothers also will be saying something. I have something also, but I want to hold on to it. If anyone has any experience in your life that you help others, there is no brag or anything. It's literally encouragement messages for others, that in the future, if we see there is an opportunity, inshallah, we have to jump in and help. So if you have anything, unmute yourself and please share. I think this is a very good topic Imam started. Anybody? Don't be shy.
So I'm saying, like,
Go ahead.
if, like, as Mustafa said, I have many times taken stand in the community, actually, when I saw that something unfair was being done to a person or to a group. I have stood up, and I didn't risk my life, but I definitely risked my friendship. And I have, very good relation with some people, and obviously they got pissed off because I took the stand against their will, although I know that, they were doing something wrong to a person or to a group. I have several occasions that, I have done that. and I have lost few friends in that process. But I did stand up. But I think Imam mentioned, did I risk my life? No, I did not. But I definitely risked my, friendship and my, what shall I say, uh, respect to some people in the community. But in the end, most of them are still my friends, and we have mended that relationship. But still, some pain remains. Even I feel it. I still feel it. But I thought I stood for the just cause, and uh, to correct or to prevent a situation where other people would be emotionally hurt. So that's my story. I cannot remember any situation where I risked my life actually. So, but
I really appreciate, brother Hai. It's not necessary that everybody has to risk their life. Intention, because what you have done, maybe some other 10 brothers didn't do it. So that I salute, that you take initiative to go there, and maybe many other people didn't like it, but you did it. Alhamdulillah. I think this is a interesting and good sharing. Anything else, brother Hai?
no, I will end there. But I still feel the pain that the other people feeling, and I'm feeling, and I'm not comfortable because of some of the things. So that was the risk that I took for standing up for just cause, what I thought was the just cause.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. All right, any other brother or sisters? Even though we passed sisters, but still you can basically unmute yourself and speak. Okay, so let me share myself if nobody is. Go ahead, brother Bilal. Go ahead, it's yours.
No, I really don't. I cannot recollect anything that I risked my life for. In fact, something just came to my mind. My brother was here about 5, 6, 7 years ago. My youngest brother. So, one day we are going out. My car was in my garage, and he was walking in. I didn't see him. I opened the door. It could have hit him so very badly that it would have been a real disaster. And I felt so bad, and I only wished that I was in his situation, not him. And in fact, that incident I think about all the time. So maybe that is there. I would have risked my life for him. In the kind of a situation. Is my brother, I think he's dearer to me than my own life. And one Imam mentioned what is happening in Turkey. I think that's how you feel when somebody is really in trouble. You go out of your own way. It's not only my brother. I would have probably done that for any one person if I saw that that person would be in trouble and I could help in any whatever way I can do. And little thing that we do, and Haibai mentioned that some of that, is that I think we do that. I try to do it on a regular basis. Little things like somebody behind me on the shop in the shopping aisle, and that person is obviously maybe older than I am, or have kids with her or him. I let them go first. Okay, please go ahead and pay you, do your things first. So that's the kind of thing. So I think that sense of sacrifice, the willingness to do it, I think is there. But I think ultimate sacrifice, something like I want to give my life for that hasn't happened to me. I think. But if it did, my guess is that I would have probably come to the, I would have done. I would not hesitate give it, that, take that risk. Just, that's, so that's how I feel. And I'm sure all of you feel that way. If I'm in trouble and my friend, Dr. Mamun is there, and he thinks he can help me, sacrificing a little bit, maybe risk of an injury, he will do it. So that's my feeling. Thank you for the opportunity, and that's a good topic.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Any other?
Mamun, let me share with you something.
Sure, go ahead, Brother Hassan.
Standing up for principle is not easy. It's tough. That what we believe in, and to stand up for against all the odds and the tidal wave is not easy. It's tough, and sometimes could be really could be dangerous to you, and could adverse incident could bring to your family, to yourself. It's possible, but it's a really tough decision. And I think that depends basically also on the environment that you are living in. In some cases, over time, things changes. World is dynamic. It's a very dynamic world. Society is also dynamic, changes all the time. And your reactions, that depends, I guess, on the current scenario, on the current situation in the society that you're living in. But let me go back to, I may give you a couple of examples. One back in Bangladesh, when I was there, young man, as Muslim was talking about his young days when he was a faculty in the Dhaka University. And a similar example situation I had when I was a young faculty back in Bangladesh. And it was right after the liberation, which is early 72. People, those who are coming from Bangladesh, they know the situation in early 72. It was bad in the sense, at the time I just moved from USA, because during the Liberation War, I was in USA. And I went back to in early 72 and joined IBA, which is Dhaka University's Institute of Business Administration. And people know that it was really good institution. It's still excellent institution for business education. They give MBA degree. And I was a young faculty at the time, just joined the university in the IBA. And since it was right after the Liberation War, if you remember, it was all basically those freedom fighters. They ran the country, actually. Young people, they ran everything, administration, university, everything basically, they ran it. Whatever they dictate, that's the administration. It was kind of lawlessness, frankly speaking, at that time. So, and IBA was traditionally, it was very tough initially, historically, in terms of admissions process, very rigorous, very fair. It was all tough written admissions process, then oral test. It was just absolutely fair, neutral, and tough, tedious process to admit into Dhaka IBA. And it was from the very beginning, that I think still going on the same way, I believe, I hope. So during that time, as I mentioned, we just have young faculty, and we were directed, IB directed, and we just had admissions to the institution in the MBA program. And a lot of people flunked, and several thousand people took the test, and maybe about 100 or so are admitted, or at least accepted for oral test. So we just finished a written exam, and then the director one day got a couple of people seeing him, And I was not at the director's office. I was in my office. And director got called me. So I went down to his office. And I saw that a couple of people are sitting in the director's office. And a couple of people brought a letter from the then Deputy Prime Minister of the country. And I'm not going to name that person. From Deputy Prime Minister himself, a letter with his official the stationery, the pad writing all these names and this seal, and asking to admit 2 of his people. These 2 people were his people, and you could admit those two people. And the director didn't know what to do, and he was scared. This is these all are freedom fighters. What should I say? If I say no, they may kill me. So he didn't know what to do. But anyway, so when he called me, I advised him that I told those 2 guys, oh, why don't you go and we should make a decision and we'll let you know. And then I told the director, do one thing. You make an appointment with that Deputy Prime Minister's office and take with you letter of resignation with you, and tell them that, sir, I'm sorry. In IBA, we did not do that. On principle, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it, and here's my resignation. If you don't like it, find somebody else. They'll do it for you. And but I couldn't do it. And he did that. And when he went down there, the Deputy Prime Minister didn't expect it. Did not expect it that, wow, this person in early 72, fighting with all those freedom fighters, and he said he's so courageous and bold, and said he's resigning and he couldn't do it. And the Deputy Prime Minister was extremely happy. He said, you need to do that, go back to your job, continue to do what you're doing. You don't need to admit those guys. So that was the stand, and he survived, and nothing happened to him, and continued. So that was at that time. But I don't know what's happening nowadays. I think it's worse. I don't think anybody will do that nowadays.
All right, let's not we come to today's situation in Bangladesh.
Well, no, what I'm saying nowadays is that people have lost their character.
Right.
I don't know why. And I can do the same thing in this country also.
There are a lot more to learn from you guys.
I work in this country, in the university, and I know I'm a lot of committee meetings, a lot of those, and we do it. And I see it myself. People have principle, they stick to it. In some cases, they are respected. In other cases, they backbite. It's backbiting. And then they try to gang up. And I see it myself in this country. So it's tough to stand up to the bully, stand up to this abuse, and be a man of principle, and then be successful. If you want to be successful, sometimes you need to be intelligent. You can defend it in a different way. So you need to be careful and intelligent and act accordingly. So you don't need to be always openly vocal, but you can get it done in another way.
Patience,
thank you.
patience, inshallah, mashallah, mashallah. Very good story. And I see there are another brother, Ikram Bhai, he raised hand. Go ahead, brother Ikram.
Okay, thank you very much. And so, assalamu alaikum. I'm not going to tell any story. I'm just reciprocate the original asking by our great Imam that whether there was an incident, but we can, if we did not have any, or we cannot remember, we can commit at this moment that whenever there will be any kind of calamity and we are involved there, we are present there, we should be doing what Imam is asking us, that taking our risk of life and help the others to save their lives or help them in any situation. So inshallah, we will do it. And I have promised at this moment, if I have not done it before, I will do it, inshallah, in future.
Mamun, can I add to that a little bit?
Oh, sure.
What Ikram said?
Please.
During my last visit, in my life, there have been many times that I was in between two fighting groups, I jumped into there and took some beating myself. So that happened. Recently, if I knew that Imam Cebli is going to ask this question today, then at my recent visit to Bangladesh, we are going to Borishal and it was rural areas, and we stopped to buy some fruits. And then I saw the couple of people beating up another person mercilessly. And then my instinct told me that to go there and ask them what's happening, what's going on here. Then my daughter and my driver, and also there was a person who is always with me, my companion, my manager there in Bangladesh. They all said, don't go there, don't go there. And my daughter especially says, Abu, don't go there. There's trouble there. So, and I ended up not going there and I was going to ask them, why are you beating this person? And if somebody becomes courageous and asks this question and, with some confidence and authority, then people listen. I have seen in the past. And so I didn't do anything. So I just listened to my daughter and my helper and my driver, and we passed along, and whatever was happening was happening. So, but if I knew that Imam Cebli is going to ask this question today, then I would have done differently. And thank you, Imam, for bringing this topic up.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Mamun, if you have time later on,
yes,
if you give me another chance, I'll just tell you another story similar to what Muslims just said. If you have time later on. Thank you.
Let's see if any other brother wants to share anything. Any other brothers or sisters? Okay, go ahead, brother Iftikhar. You need to unmute yourself. You are talking in mute, brother. Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So I think, this kind of story we all have in our lifetime in some point. Maybe we don't remember sometimes, but I can tell you one thing, what our Imam said, that will you put yourself into the second, not the life risk, first somebody, then second you. As a Muslim, this is our obligation, basically, and advised by our elders and our prophets, and even in Quran, to do the same thing, that always stand against the injustice. For our day-to-day life, as a parent, as a children, we are doing it. We always do, put ourselves second and put our children, our parents on the first. This is our day-to-day life, basically. We all are doing. I think it's not only Muslim, even non-Muslim doing the same thing, They put other, you have to define who is others. Others is like your neighbors, your friends, or your children, or your parents, In case of children and parents, I think we all are always doing these things. We are putting ourselves in second, Especially for myself, I always put myself second when it comes the question of my parents or my brothers or my sisters or my children. So this is a day-to-day things basically we are doing. I mean, everybody is doing. Regarding a story, everybody has a story. I have a story. I have many stories. If I start saying that, I can do it all day. But specifically, one thing I remember, to stand against injustice. When I was in Bangladesh Railway, I was a purchase officer, district controller of purchase. So we usually purchase the railway parts from the outside, from the foreign country. there was so many corruption going on at that time. So one times, I got, my responsibility was to open the LC. So I see that 11 files came to me with 11 crore at that time to purchase some spare parts of the Hungarian locomotives. So I saw those purchase orders and I see that a lot of irregularities. Like the one part supposed to be $8, they put somehow it is $80 or $800. This way they make up a list of purchase. So I saw that this has been approved by the ministry, ACNEC. At that time, there was a call ACNEC. ACNEC need to approve those things, if it is more than 1 crore. So I have no choice other than I took 11 files to the local newspapers office, talk to the people there and publish it in the newspaper, risking my job basically, So I did that, and all those 11 purchase was stopped, but they transferred me from Chittagong to Parbatipur, from far from my home, and I resigned. Basically, to come to this America, it's one of that was the reason, So I applied for the study leave and then come to this America after that incident. So this is one of the incidents, but I think we all stand against the injustice of the society, and we always put ourselves second when it comes to the family and friends. This is the common thing as a Muslim. Everybody should do it. We commit that we will do it in future for our society, for our family. Jazakallah.
Mashallah, mashallah. I think it can be another good topics in the future, that why do we came to this country? Everybody has a reason. Trust me.
Yeah.
I have a reason the why I came to this country. That will be very interesting episode. So inshallah, Imam, you have started a good thing. So sometime we need to know. This is also important. Thank you, brother Iftikhar. Very, very good, good one. Anyone else? Please unmute yourself or raise your hand. There is a button at the bottom of your screen. You can basically select raise your hand so I can see that who is interested to speak. It would be nice if any sister share anything, but seems like no sister wants to share anything at this moment. If it is, unmute yourself. All right. So
Mamun.
Go ahead, brother Mushir. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So just to make short story here, putting things in context. What Imam said, that put yourself in a second. Well, it has some practicality. Putting yourself in a second, it helps, like to control yourself, your ego, your pride, your arrogance, right? So I think all of us have some sort of worldly experience that Muslim has shared, Mamun has shared, and Iftikhar, all this. So we have worldly experience, but the putting things in context right now, what is happening in that part of the world, I have two things to share and to observe and to tell myself and also others, including all the leaders, dictatorial or authoritarian government in the world. Number one, they should think that there is one always powerful than themselves. There's a super controller. Okay, so you see what is happening, this disaster, calamities. Some of them are man-made, and some of them coming from Allah. So they should take notice of what is happening right now. That part of the killings around the world, Syria, the north part of Syria, and that part of the Turkey. How many people have been killed by human beings, by their friends, by their government, right? So now Allah has given this. So what I'm trying to say is that this kind of authoritarian or dictator in the world should take a notice what is happening. They are powerless. Okay, when Allah's this kind of situation comes, they are nothing. That is number one for them. I'm not a ruler, but I'm just telling it for the sake of saying I cannot control the world, but I'm just telling. Secondly, all of us putting ourselves second, there is something again, right? We have to ask ourselves, are we doing enough? Those who are in this country, including me, came to this country with a small, kind of a rundown suitcase, right? Nothing in it. Now, mashallah, look at all of us. We have education, we have, wealth, status, kids, right? All these things, big houses. We see a lot of things, including me. But the question to me and all of us should ask, am I doing enough? Muslim, I just got back from Bangladesh. I'm sure he has seen a lot of things on the street, so we don't have to go too far, right? I mean, what is happening in Turkey? Yes, think yourself, why it didn't happen to us, happen to them, right? It could have been us too. Think about, just other day, a boy, 6-year-old, just has been rescued, after 5 days. That is so terrible, shocking to hear all these things. Well, we cannot do anything, but at least we can, ask ourselves, are we doing enough? And including myself, my answer is that no. We have been given so much, bank balance, all these things will leave. What will happen? There will be only, the bank transfer, the account transfer from me to my kids. So all of us, including myself, we need to ask again, are we doing enough? Enough, not just talk. We are giving experience what is happening in this world. I have done this, all these things. Yes, that is good. But at the end of the day, we have to ask, are you doing enough? Enough. You have been blessed in this world, 7.9 billion people, right? How many of this, are blessed like us? Like us, how many of them? Very little. So, I'm just saying, that humanity comes first, forget about religion, right? So that's why this is what is happening right now. We have, we have to take some lesson from here. Are you doing enough? Even this Turkey, I mean, we're giving $100, $200. Well, brother, that's good. But you should keep, them in your prayer too. Think about this kid, just still under this rubble. So anyway, I'm just saying that we have something to do, something to learn, and something to act on, right? Not just emotion, not, just sharing this thing, in this Halaqa, 15 people, all of us are good people, right? Good hearted. But we have to go beyond that, right? And, we have to show and demonstrate whatever we feel, think through our action, not just say in a word, all these things. Anyway, I just wanted to share my thinking and what is going through my mind right now. Yesterday, I met a family from Turkey in the mosque. Mamun, you're not there. They came. I think his mother and wife and brothers, they came and pray, and they're asking them, how's the situation? They said, brother, I don't know. We don't know. They have some relatives still under the rubble. And I couldn't look at their faces. So think about this, just pray for them and see if you can do something, right? So, Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, brother. Okay, I'm very proud to see one of the sister has raised hand. Sister Nipa, it's your turn. You can unmute and you can speak, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.
I just wanted to share a few sentences. I always put myself in second when it comes to helping people. I always stood up when unfair things happen to those unprivileged people. Like, I always fought against dirty politics. We all know that what type of politics happen in our Bangladeshi society. I'm not going to talk about other society. And it's not easy as a woman when standing up for those people. Our society doesn't accept that. And my whole life, I helped those people when they needed me, or unprivileged, or they become victim of our dirty politics. I always stood up, no matter what other people say. I lost lots of my friends, relatives, society, And I lost a lot because of that. And they talk about it. When women do that, our society doesn't accept that. So it's not that that it bothers me. I feel like if Allah is with me and I am doing good things for others, I should not be worried about those who categorized me and talk about me and say bad things about me. As long as I'm doing good things, Allah is watching us, and I should continue doing whatever I'm doing. And I believe I should not change my personality based on what others say about me. So at the end of the day, it's a very good feeling. When you do good things for other people, it's a good feeling. And we should be proud of ourselves because of that, because I believe we will be rewarding at one point, and we should do these good things, and should not stop doing this because of other people. That's all. I wanted to just share this much.
MashaAllah, Sister Nipa, may Allah bless you. And you're doing a good stuff. You are in this Halaqa almost every week, MashaAllah. So we'll make all dua for you that may Allah make everything easy for you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Any other sister? A few sisters joined late. So I just want to, tell you what's going on today's Halaqa. Basically, Imam has given a khutbah with some references from Hadith, and then he requested all of us to share anything you have done in your life, risking your life or keep thinking about as a second one, like the way people are now helping in Turkey. So many of us has shared. If you have anybody who joined late, if you are interested to share any of the incident in your lifetime, I know that many of us has many incident, but any significant one you want to share, you are most welcome. Okay, any brothers, any more? If no brothers, no sister, I will ask permission from all of you. I think Brother Islam wants to say something. You are in a mute, Brother Islam.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah. Our Imam Cebli, he always keep in touch with the current situation, like the earthquake in Turkey. And I thank him for reminding us that the surah in the Quran, Al-Zilzala, that the earthquake. And for the first few lines, I'm not going to go through it, but the first few lines is exactly what happens to Turkey, that the earth shakes, the lava moves, and people say, what happened to the earth? Why is it doing so? So at least the first few ayah resembles about this earthquake. The others are for the hereafter. But that's not the point. The point where the Imam Cebli brought up, if they face any about risk of life for the goodness, for the justice of the society, my life is very simple and trouble-free. Only thing that I was an orphan and had my education and came to this country somehow. Allah helped me. Allah helped me to other people. Not, a lot of people put that effort in my life so that I can have education. And I pray for them, honestly. So when I came to this country, and my son, I saw that the time when I came in, like I am as highly, there is no mosque, there is no school, there is no religious talk, there is no Indians, not many Arabs, but a few people. And Imam Cebli probably came in like 82 or 84, I don't remember. And then when my son was growing, then I think that I will help people. How can I help it? I had an opportunity that I have to teach my son the Quran. I didn't know anything about the Quran, honestly, and only used to read with struggle. But I took the opportunity that why not I learn myself and start teaching them. And I had 2 more friends, and we opened up a school. It's not a big deal, but it's a kind of thinking. Nobody inspired me to do this. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired, and I feel the necessity that this is the thing has to be done for this country, because there is nothing, there's no MCMC mosque, there's no ISC there, there's no Al-Wali, MCNZ. So I opened up the school and I saw the lots of students from Pakistan. There are only few Bangladeshi people. And I have a good number of students. And I should not say that I sacrificed my life, but I put my time and attention and with sincerity that I should teach them about the religion, because amanu wa amilu salihat. What is the amilu salihat? If you don't do good something to society, there's no amilu salihat. So we tried, and believe me, I feel at the end of my life, I feel great when remember all those days. And many parents also know this is here. And I run the school for 30 years. My wife and I, every Sunday, for the last 30 years, every Sunday we carry the books, we rent a room, and we work on the kids and do as much as I could. It's not a fighting in the liberation war, or it's not sacrificing my life, but it's my sincerity to establish and to get myself guided and the other student. And this is the only thing I could do. And after all these years, and even now, Allah has blessed me with so many things. And those kids, when they get married, I get invited. When their birthday, I get invited. When they have kids, I get invited. See the blessings that they have. So I don't have a great contribution for standing against the justice, but I want to put the justice in the society by teaching them the Quran and the religion and the righteousness in our religion. And my life is simple, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Brother Islam. Brother Mahbub, it's your turn.
Yes, I just want to, when I heard Islam Bhai's comment, I just want to acknowledge that thing. After Islam Bhai opened up this school, and I used to take my daughter to her place, and it was really a pleasure that I always used to tell that everybody that Islam Bhai has done a school where our kids have been trained. And mashallah, Islam Bhai, thank you very much, Islam Bhai, for these things. I just don't want to linger the conversation on these things. Thank you, Islam Bhai.
But one thing I will request Islam Bhai, that we may need to promote this school to our community and other community little extensive way, so that people know about it. Like I personally even didn't know that you have a school.
Mamun, at the time when I started it, there is no masjid, there is no education institute, nobody had anything, absolutely. I am as a highlier, all this is not. So, but nowadays we have mosque, we have many imams, many teachers, you can learn from the online. At that time, 30, 35 years ago, there's absolutely nothing. And so I, at least with most sincerity, I tried to bring Islam to people's mind. And it happened to be that when I taught the kids, saying that don't eat haram food, don't eat McDonald's, they went back to their parents. And the parents complained to us that they want to eat halal. What happened? And the parents become even guided. It's a long story.
You are continuously doing it. I know that. I know you.
Yeah, so
Nowadays,
yeah.
Al-Mamun, if you don't know about Islam, sorry.
Yeah, it's not necessary nowadays because there are masjid, and my school has stopped, and I'm old. But this is, so I struggle. I stood for the religion, the righteousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not to fight in the field with the arms and ammunition, but It's a fight to put justice in the world and in the community. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
brother
Islam.
Hopi, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add, Islam Bhai mentioned that thing. There is another brother called Shahid Bhai. He was also helped. He also helped Islam Bhai to run this school.
MashaAllah.
And we really very much grateful to Islam Bhai and Shahid Bhai.
I recruited 8 teachers from the community. Some of them I have to teach them myself, then they become teachers. It's amazing how we went through.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And brother Mosle, you wanted to say something?
Well, I wanted to say that, the reason you don't know about Islam Bhai school, maybe, your kids at that time,
No,
everybody
the reason I'm saying a lot of us doing a lot of things, maybe we don't know from each other. So that's why, we it doesn't go beyond their jurisdiction. But I'm saying this is a great platform that we are sharing now. And then we need to promote it. So that's another reason you will see that sometime when I do any project in Bangladesh for something, I always share with you guys, because if I do not share, I'm not giving the opportunity to other brothers. So many of you behind the scene, really come and participate with me in a lot of projects in Bangladesh, subhanAllah. So that's what I'm saying, that we need to promote it, whatever it is, inshallah, and we'll continue to do that. If nobody wants to share anything, inshallah, if you may allow, I want to just share a couple of things. Is that okay?
Sure.
Sure.
Go ahead.
If you, with your permission.
Why you need my permission? And brother Musa give you two permission.
Yes. Why you need permission, Mamun?
I am a Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm a very simple man and one of the little fish on this pond, really. I'm nothing compared to all of you. Okay. I just do whatever I can do in Bangladesh. Definitely, I have a lot of story to share, and I cannot really share everything because I was involved in International Red Cross from my childhood. Many times I'm on the street when there is a flood, there is a disaster in Bangladesh, and I was young, but I'm really on the field. I used to really go and help people build houses for people, but not with my money because I was a student at that time. I did it by Red Cross. Also, I was involved in, Leo Club. So I have done a lot of, risky stuff, during the disaster time in Bangladesh. So biggest risk in my entire life, some of you may know, I was a journalist. Obviously, I was one of the founder journalists for Ajker Kagoj and Bhorer Kagoj, two of the, daily newspaper in Bangladesh. And my beat was crime and corruption. And you understand, to writing a depth reporting on crime and corruption in Bangladesh is a very risky job. So basically, I have a life threat in my journalism profession. And because of that reason, I'm in this country. So that is still, I didn't stop. I continue write on corruption in many things in Bangladesh, including a lot of top-notch people in Bangladesh. And instead, I know that if I continue to do that for many days, I will be probably dead. And my wife, I just young, just married, and she was very nervous. And that's why I came to this country. But two things I want to specifically mention, that way I didn't really risk my life, but I'm saying some other people could do it, but nobody did it. I did it. Number one, in a British Airways, I was traveling to USA, and I was in a Heathrow Airport, and one of the Bangladeshi lady and my son was with me. I have a luggage, my wife with me, and she was really in front of me. There is a one person, and in front of her there is a woman with a shari, and she's a elderly person. And all on a sudden, I looked up and I see that her shari is going inside the escalator shaft. So I basically, my son was very young. I released his hand and my suitcase. I ran through that other guy, and I basically pulled her and teared the sharis from the escalator and take her to the top. So my son is still tell that he was young. He said, "Daddy saved a elderly person." So this is one of them time I still remember. And if that shari was keep going, I wouldn't know that what happened to this lady. But Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me the courage to help her. Another time in my Marlboro home, I have a big party going on and barbecue party. One of my relatives' daughter, very young daughter, she doesn't know how to swim. She basically fell into my pool, and nobody really pay attention that she's in the pool, and she was basically sinking, and everybody was having fun, making and including their parents. I was entirely dressed up with my car keys and my iPhone, everything in my pocket. I don't know why I moved. I see that she is under the pool, and I jump and I saved her. So that's the two things I want to mention. But other than that, there are a lot of other things I have experienced in my life. Compared to that, Alhamdulillah, we are in a very good situation. Allah has kept us in a very good place. But as I said, I'm a very little person, and keep me in your dua so that I can continue to do something good for this world and the hereafter. Jazakallahu khair. Okay, I know that Brother Hassan requested that if time permits, I'll give you, Brother Hassan, 1 minute, inshallah, that let's finish it up so then we can make dua for Turkey and other community, then we can go from there.
For the dua, Al-Mamun, may I ask Imam Cebli to pray for the daughter of Sister Rumi, who got married yesterday?
Yes.
And to pray for the new couple?
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mamun. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you again. I'll be really brief. I simply wanted to share with you that, that one story, one incident basically. That the lesson from that incident is basically that power makes people corrupt. Most people, not everybody. Most people, if you become powerful, that brings corruption, and then you lose also the principle. Why I say that? Again, going back to my young days that Muslim was mentioning during this time, that going to Barisal, that he saw an incident. In young days, a young faculty, the Dhaka University. I had a colleague, also young, like me, just came from UK with PhD and became a young faculty, Dhaka University. And I'm not going to name the person because many of you know him. He was really good principal, good speaker. He was a young student leader and a man of principle. And he stood up for many corruptions and that incidents that was not really good or right. And he went to for shopping, and he saw a policeman and a law enforcement person was beating another rickshawala, you know, the full rickshaws. And he didn't like it, so he went down there and he stopped that beating and he challenged that policeman while beating him. But still, anyway, the reason I'm saying that the same person, when he became little older, he became a leader of a big party in Bangladesh currently, and became minister. He became minister, and I know him. He was the most corrupt minister in that time. And how corrupt he was? He supplied the exams.
Let's not go too deep because
No, I'm not going to say that. What I'm saying, he became so corrupt.
Yeah.
He became really corrupt.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because he became powerful, he lost his principle. So the lesson is basically that power makes people corrupt in most cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Hassan. There is a sister, she doesn't want to really mention her name. She sent me a text message just to say that she goes through a lot of challenging work on her profession, and she doesn't want to really talk about those because she works in this country, and that can be against the law. But she also suffering, in a lot of challenging stuff in Bangladesh. So make dua for her, and we all have the challenges, and we all do courageous thing in our life. So we'll all make dua for our sister, inshallah.
Yeah, so Mamun, I'm just curious a little bit, because whatever she wants to do, good things, I hope, are those good things against the law of this country, USA, or some other country?
No, against the law means she should not talk about this into this setup. It's not against the law that what she does, but speaking in public about that work should not be, appropriate. That's why she doesn't want to speak in here.
Okay.
Anyway, so inshallah, Imam, it's your turn. If you can share something about your life, any incident or anything you feel significant, please do. Otherwise, make dua for our sister Aziza's daughter who got married last night. And also definitely we will all make dua for our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria who are suffering at this moment. And we'll try our best to do whatever help we can do from our jurisdiction, inshallah. Go ahead, Imam.
Let me request Brother Muslim to open his Quran, the translation in chapter 59, verse 9.
Okay, chapter 59 and verse 9.
Al-Hashr.
Verse 9.
Al-Hashr.
Okay. Verse 9. Okay, I found it. This is the 59, it's the gathering. And verse 9 is, what is this? Okay, I found it. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Surah 59. English translation is the gathering. And verse 9, it says, those who were already firmly established in their homes. This is happening in Medina. So we get parentheses, it says in Medina. So those who were already firmly established in their homes and firmly rooted in faith show love for those who migrated to them for refuge and harbor no resentment in their hearts for what has been given to them. They give them preference over themselves.
Can you repeat this again?
I was going to repeat.
Yeah, repeat it. Yeah, this is a topic.
Yeah. They give them preference over themselves, even if they too are poor. Those who are saved from their own soul's greed and are truly successful.
Now let me go to the hadith was narrated by Abu Huraira, and the two Imam al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim mentioned this hadith in their books. The hadith is very long, but I try to summarize it. This is the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ sitting among the Sahaba, and a person hungry and have maybe not enough clothes in his body, and a very desperate, unfortunate person. He entered the masjid, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood up and sent another Sahabi to his wives, Aisha, Hafsa, many of his wives around him. and he asked the wives of the Prophet Muhammad, do you have anything to feed this individual tonight? The answer came from the wife of Rasulullah, more than one house. By Allah, we have nothing except the water. وَالَّذِي بَعَثَكَ بِالْحَقِّ مَا عِنْدَنَا إِلَّا الْمَاءِ. Those are the wives of Rasulullah, not one, not two, not three. All of them, they swear by Allah or Rasulullah, by the one who sent you to be the messenger in our houses as the mother of the believer, we have nothing except the water. The Rasulullah stood up in the crowd and he said, Man yudifuhu hadhihi al-layla yarhamuhu Allah. Is any one of you in this Zoom, any one of you in the masjid, will take this guest to his house and Allah will send mercy on him and his wife and his kids? Yarhamuhu Allah. Then a man from Al-Ansar, يقال له Abu Talha. His name is Abu Talha. He stood up, he said, Ya Rasulullah, Ana ya Rasulullah, I am the one like to receive the mercy of Allah, and I will take your guest to my home. Then Abu Talha took the guest to his house. Ay manzili, which means his home, not the hotel, his home. Then he said to his wife, the wife of Abu Talha, which means Talha, هذا ضيف رسول الله. This is not as ordinary guest, not a passing by, not in the street, not he come to the masjid and nobody know him. No. He said, this is the guest of Rasulullah, which means all the ikram you give it to this man, you are going to give it to Rasulullah because Rasulullah is the one sent this man to me. Don't save anything in your cabinets. لا تدخري عنه شيئا وأكرميه. Don't hide anything in the refrigerator. There is no refrigerator in that time. Don't hide anything in the basement. There is no basement in that time. Don't hide anything. Bring everything. You have it in your home. Put it on the table. Then give him ikram, which means be more generous to him. And the wife said to her husband, Abu Talha, can you listen to me carefully, Abu Talha? By Allah, I have nothing in my home except the food of the kids. فقالت ما عندي إلا قوت الصبيان. I have nothing. I don't have two refrigerator. I don't have a basement. I don't have a cabinet. I don't have anything. The only thing I can put on the table is the dinner or the lunch or maybe the food of the kids. Then Abu Talha have to give him ikram. He said to her, can you play with the kids? Sit down with them in the other room, if they have two rooms. Allilihim, which means make them busy. Till they sleep, till they go deep sleeping without feeding them. Please don't misunderstand the hadith. Oh, the mother wants her kids to suffer, then no, please don't go more than what hadith said. And he said to her, when our guest will arrive, put the food on the table or on the floor, then make yourself a little busy. I'm going to do it right now because I have a light in front of me. He said to her, try to turn the light off. See, I tried. Try to turn the light off, which means there is no more light in the room, and we and you and the kids will try to make ourselves are eating with him. Let him eat till he full. She did the same thing. فعللتهم. فلما أصبح, after they slept that night and nobody ate except the guest of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Abu Talha and the guests went to Rasulullah to do Salat al-Fajr. Let me say that. فلما أصبح غدا على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. They went to Rasulullah after, just after the night and to do Salat al-Fajr. Listen carefully to me, my dear brother and sister, how Allah gives the knowledge to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam about Abu Talha and his wife and his children and the guests. فلما نظر إليه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم تبسم. When Abu Talha and the guests look at Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم give them biggest smile. تبسمك في وجه أخيك صدقة. Alhamdulillah, we start the halaqa today. Everybody has a smile. MashaAllah. We talk about each other, to each other, and everybody has a smile. تبسم. ثم قال, then Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم now is reporting to us. لقد عجب الله من صنيعكما. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was happy from you, Abu Talha, from you, Talha, from your kids. What you did to your guest. وأنزل Allah, then Allah revealed in that after this incident, the verse was recited by Brother Muslih, the meaning of the ayah, يؤثرون على أنفسهم ولو كان بهم خصاصة, which means to put the person number two, number one, and you put yourself number two. That is what the message of today, inshallah, in this halaqa. I did not come to the point. I don't know who promote the word to rescue your life for death. I did not say that. I just said it from the beginning to put the others number one and you put yourself number two, to sacrifice big thing, small thing, medium thing. But this verse from Surah Al-Hashr, the gathering, and the hadith was reported by two Imam, Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, by Abu Huraira. What the whole family did, they sacrificed their meal to feed the guests of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah sent the mercy on them. Amen. I come to the final point. Yes, our brother in Turkey, they need our meal. Our brother in Syria, they need our meal. Our people in Lebanon, they need our meal. If we don't go further than that, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you. And this is my message to myself, to my family, to all of you. Yes, we can sacrifice minimum one meal to be given to the other, and Allah knows the best. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه يغفر لكم.
So Mamun,
Yes.
looks like that your request to Imam Cebli about sharing his experience of putting himself to number two, probably we would have to wait for another day for that.
Yeah, he's gonna buy dinner for us, inshallah.
Okay.
All right.
Mamun, what's the way to contribute to our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria?
There is a link I can share with you from ICNA. They are also doing it. Red Cross is doing it. There are many organizations. I may share some of them in our group, inshallah, and you can just go ahead and donate through them, inshallah.
Mamun, just interrupt, Mamun. I have to go. I have peace in the home.
Inshallah. Inshallah. We'll make dua for you, inshallah, brother Islam. Give salam to your family. All right, Imam. So inshallah, and Imam, if you have any places that you feel that we can donate, please let us know.
Let all of us together, inshallah ta'ala, for the period of time, read Surah Al-Asr, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala release the difficulty of our Muslim brothers in Syria all over the world, in Turkey, in Syria, Lebanon, all the area which are affected by the earthquake. And may Allah protect all of them, inshallah.
Ameen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you, Imam. Thanks, everyone. Looking forward to see you all on next Sunday.